Supplement Labor Day sale, the ultimate celebration of savings and well-being. Right now, all rescue supplements are slashed up to 70% off. Plus, enjoy free shipping, too. So whether you're searching for immune support, joint care, heart health, or a youthful glow, Rescue has health essentials for everyone. Take a break. Celebrate your workplace achievements with savings on a probiotic, omega-3s, multivitamins, and so much more. Call them at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant, or you can shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. Celebrate Labor Day with 30 to 70% off. Again, all Rescue products are slashed up to 70% off site-wide. No codes needed. Just call or go to res-q.com to get this Labor Day deal right now. Start feeling like a new you with Rescue today.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navient's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Right now, we know everybody's probably thinking the same thing. How can I get a free furnace? How did they know, you ask? Well, we're Horizon Services. That's what we do. So here's what we're thinking. Right now, get a new AC system installed, which you'd probably already thought about doing anyway because it's been so hot outside. And you'll get that free furnace. See, I told you we were thinking. Get a new AC and you get a new furnace free. You're getting AC. Why not a free furnace? Book now at horizonservices.com.
Hey, Joe DeCamry here. When you've got kids going back to school, life can feel like it's always on the go, go, go. That's why Tasty Cake has go-to snacks for everyone in your family. Whether it's a fluffy crimpet with smooth icing, a creamy peanut butter candy cake, or a sweet cinnamony pecan swirl, Tasty Cake has something unique for everyone. When it's back to school, go for what they love, Tasty Cake. Accept no substitutes.
Am I going to be okay? It's the most important question you should ask yourself when approaching retirement. A financial advisor will probably answer that question by looking at just one thing: how much you've saved. At Spectrum Wealth Partners, we believe that's only half the story. The stock market will continue to go up and down, but at Spectrum Wealth, we can help you build guaranteed lifetime income that's not affected by any of it. Let's sit down together and help you answer the question, am I going to be okay? Call 856-322-8686 or online at spectrumwp.com. And tune into the Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen Saturdays at 3 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Advisory services offered through Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and Spectrum Wealth Partners are not affiliated companies.
This month, Talk Radio 1210's Veteran Spotlight salutes Sean Fishburne, Pennsylvania National Guard veteran. Be here this Wednesday morning, September 4th, as Kale & Company shine a spotlight on this outstanding local veteran in partnership with the Travis Manion Foundation, celebrating their remarkable commitment to service. Presented by Window Nation. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
I love that song. What's up, Pennsylvania? How y'all doing? Hey, Delaware. I see you. Hey, New Jersey, what's up? This is Kathy Barnette. I am sitting in for my double good girlfriend, as I like to call her, on the Dawn Stensland Show. And today I have my dear friend Stan Casaccio also in the house with me. Hey, Stan.
Hey, how you doing, Kathy? I came in from the shore just to keep you company today. So anybody listening to us out there, hey, get ready to get fired up because we're fired up on this Labor Day.
I know, Labor Day. Yay!
Summer's over.
Right? And I mean, Labor Day, like, what are we celebrating? I was thinking about it this morning as I was driving in. It is supposed to be a celebration of the workers in America, right? Like, we built this country.
Right.
And it's supposed to be a celebration and in honor of us. And I was saying to you before we came on air that I don't feel like I'm being celebrated in reality as an American worker.
But look at all the great gifts they've given us. Inflation, gas prices,
open borders,
eggs at $3.
It's crazy.
Look at all the gifts that they're giving us now.
I know. It's really crazy right now, right? And I know Kamala is coming here to Pennsylvania, her and Joe, to talk about her opportunity economy. I feel like opportunities are shrinking. Opportunities are not expanding. I don't feel like there's a lot of opportunities that are going on all around us. But so we're going to be talking about that a little bit as well. But I really wanted to, I woke up early this morning and I texted some of my Israeli friends to come and talk to us a little bit about what many of us woke up to really seeing and kind of diving in this morning with the 6 hostages who were killed and who Hamas killed.
Brutally killed.
And apparently they have a video that they're threatening. Hamas has a video that they're threatening to release of these 6 hostages, their final messages. And so anyway, I wanted to bring in some, instead of just being a talking head, I wanted to go to the source. And with that, I have Minister Simcha Rothman online. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hi. We're everyone today and yesterday in Israel. We were shocked and in anger and all the feelings, sad, all the feelings that you can imagine when Hamas people murdered 6 hostages. At least one of them I know is an American citizen, Hirsch Goldberg, Poland, and this evil that it's our face to fight. Also in Gaza, also in the north with Hezbollah, also with Iran, also near my house in Judea and Samaria, where just yesterday 3 policemen were killed.
Yes, I saw that.
Just in a shooting. It's the evil of the Islamic jihadist approach that comes from Iran, that comes from all its proxies all around us, and we sometimes get those hurtful reminders of what us and the entire free world needs to deal with.
And let me just tell people who you are, Simcha, if you don't mind. Simcha Rothman, he is a member of the Knesset. He's for the far-right religious Zionist Party and the chair of the Knesset Constitution, Law, and Justice Committee. So again, I try to veer away from just talking heads. We have a lot of talking heads, Simcha, here in America. I'm sure there in Israel as well, who just talk without fully understanding what is going on, what is at stake. Can you help us here in America? Because already the talking heads and our media is framing this in such a way. I'm glad you open it up with that this is an evil that Hamas committed. Because if you're just listening to American news, it sounds as though it's Benjamin Netanyahu's fault that this happened versus placing the blame squarely on Hamas.
So first, I know that sometimes the Wikipedia editors try to portray me as the far right. I'm not against to being into the right of a lot of people, but in Israel, the views that my party and myself are representing, we are not far right. We have the support of the vast majority of the public in Israel. It's maybe some extreme left or far left people would want to color it as far right, because of the same people that when they see this evil that Hamas is doing, and they try to put it on Netanyahu, on the Prime Minister of Israel, the same people try to portray us as extremists. It's not about it, and this is outrage. The fact that we had a ceasefire on October 6th. We did not start this war.
Right.
Sadly, I have to say, we had a lot of problems with pushing forward this war due to delays of weapons that sadly the current administration, the Biden administration, delayed for a few months ammunition that Israel needed in the fight in Gaza. And so this war takes a longer time than we would want it to take, and the hostages are in captivity for longer than we would want them to be. We want them to be released as soon as possible, of course.
So are you? Just so that I understand, because you're a member of the Knesset, you understand this information far better than most of us. Are you saying that a part of the reason, maybe not the whole reason, but a part of the reason why this war since October 7th has extended as long as it has is because of the Biden administration not providing Israel with the weapons that were promised?
I say that I don't know exactly to tell you, and what I know I can't tell.
Right.
But I can tell you exactly about the length of the war. But I do know that there were delays in the supplies of ammunition. Some of it is behind us now. We have the fact that during the time of war, we were pressured not to go into Rafah. Everyone knows that. Everyone remember the saying "don't" that we heard from our ally, and we know the public in the U.S. We appreciate the support that the vast majority of the public and elected officials in the U.S. Extend to Israel. We are allies, and we know this alliance comes on shared values with the American people and the American and the USA. And sadly, I can't even understand why this pressure not to go into Rafah, not to go into and block what is called the Philadelphia line, the same line that during the war a lot of ammunition came to Hamas through this pipeline underneath the Philadelphia line and the tunnels that were under it. And only now, when we got into Rafah, only now when we took the Philadelphia line, we discovered hundreds of tunnels, some of them wide enough for trucks to go in and bring ammunition for Hamas. Of course, against the promise of Egypt, and sadly, against promises we got from the administration in the United States in former years, that they said we will see that when they imposed and pressured us into a ceasefire, and the saying was we would take care with Egypt that the smuggling of ammunition for Hamas will stop. It did not stop. We got this October 7th. We have to work together, exactly like Prime Minister Netanyahu said in Congress. We will do the job. We will fight this radical Islamist, jihadist terrorists that are in our borders and trying to threaten the entire free world. We will do the job that the entire free world needs to do. Just let us do it.
Yes.
Just give us give us the credit and the time that we need in the UN Security Council, in the ammunition, in the support that we need to eliminate this evil and do justice
And now,
for
what
the
about
entire world.
And now, what about your people there? What we're seeing on our media are a number of Israelis who are saying that Benjamin Netanyahu or Prime Minister Netanyahu needs to focus on negotiations to get hostages back home, regardless of finishing the war.
Of course, when we talk to families of people that their loved ones are in captivity, and also I had a family member that was considered captive, and later it was discovered that he was missing, and we found him near the border, but he was considered a captive. And of course, the families, you cannot judge them for demanding of doing everything and not taking the consequences into account. I have a little bit of a problem with political players that cynically use those families and try to pressure Israel from within Israel and from outside of Israel into basically surrendering to Hamas. I know that the U.S., again, I said before that the U.S. and Israel have shared values. One of the values that used to be rock solid in the U.S. and in Israel was that you don't negotiate with terrorists. You don't negotiate because it will only create the next event.
Right.
That it will only create the next extortion.
Right.
So you have to eliminate the evil. You have to do whatever you can with all your powers to release the hostages, and that's what Israel has done. We heard about those 6 hostages that were murdered viciously by Hamas, but the IDF recovered their bodies, and last week there was a living hostage that was released, and a few weeks before they held other bodies that were released by the IDF, people who were murdered on October 7th, and some of the hostages were released by, thankfully, thank God, alive by the IDF. That's the way to do it. You have to put the pressure on Hamas. You have to put the pressure from within Israel, and again, outside, from the U.S. I would expect the pressure from the administration, from all the freedom-loving countries, from the U.S. administration and all other countries, only on Hamas. Sadly, instead of sanctioning Hamas and everyone who is giving them any kind of refuge or help or extending any kind of aid to Hamas, instead of sanctioning them, instead of sanctioning the terrorists, instead of sanctioning the Houthis in Yemen, we have sanctions, believe it or not, in Israel on American citizens that try to prevent aid from going to Hamas and demonstrating in the streets against this, so they're getting sanctioned by the U.S. administration. Their bank accounts are frozen. Their assets are frozen because they dared say, stop giving aid to Hamas. There is a lawsuit taking place now in the U.S. on this issue.
Right.
Now, this is unheard of. That during the war, the sanctions are not going on terrorists, but they're going on the people who find the terrorists.
Representative
that's
Simca,
unheard of.
Representative Simca, you raised a very good point, because Stan Casascio here, co-hosting with Kathy, one of the things that really bothers me is what you found, that all this money that's been given to the Palestinian people to help the Palestinian people has gone to build these tunnels, has gone to buy these rockets, has gone to arm these people to kill people. It's the most amazing thing. When they call us far right, what they're saying is they're against common sense. Everything that you have spoken about is common sense. You follow the line all the way down. If you follow the line of common sense, you understand the Churchillian concept that you can't be like Chamberlain and just give in, because eventually it becomes worse. So you made a very good point. One other thing that bothers me so much is these people kill in the name of Allah, God. And what bothers me the most is, if you believe in God, why would you want to stoop to the lowest form of animal life and kill another human being? When I look at the faces of these hostages, it just tears me up. So, stand strong and keep fighting.
Yeah, and thank you very much for listening and for all the aid that I have to say. Whenever I get to whenever I hear people speaking in the U.S., I know that the vast majority of the public in the United States and elected officials support this fight against evil. This is a fight of good versus evil, and this is, as you said, this is common sense. And for some very strange reasons that I cannot understand, some of those terror tunnels and rockets and cars and even military training to some of those murderers, I'm sad to say, was paid by our taxpayer. And I'm saying our taxpayer because it's U.S. taxpayer, hundreds of millions of dollars, $100 billion over the years that went to train those terrorists. And I'm talking also about Israeli taxpayer. It's not. It's like we just decided in the West to turn a blind eye to evil and hoped it would go away. And we discovered on October 7th that that's not going to happen. And if we won't fight against evil, evil is here to stay. So we have to fight it in order to eliminate it.
I'm so glad you said that. Sir, because we see it here in America. It's as if common sense has gone on vacation when you have open borders, when we're dealing with world leaders like Russia and China in the manner in which we are. It's been devastating on our own country. We see the results of this devastation. We can no longer pretend all is well. And I'm grateful when I see Israel doing the opposite of what many of your allies are encouraging you to do, like have negotiations with people who very charter say they want to destroy you, annihilate you. Yeah. But let me just say, before we get off, we only have a few more minutes here, but before we get off, I want to make sure that I understand you correctly, because I think you're right, and I never thought about it until you just said it. What we are seeing here in America are two options. One is what Benjamin Netanyahu and people like yourself are espousing, which is we need to do whatever is necessary to destroy and end Hamas, versus the other option, which feels like the world is telling Israel to capitulate, do whatever you need to do, and get your hostages back. It seems like those are the two choices that are being presented. Is that accurate?
Those are the two options that are being presented in the media. In reality, the options are not even that. One option is to fight and eliminate Hamas, and not only Hamas, because we know this evil comes from Iran. We know this evil is being funded, sadly, by Qatar, that funds, by the way, I am sure that within within a 5-mile radius of where you sit now in Philadelphia, there are mosques that preach the same jihadist ideology that is going in the mosques in Gaza, and it's paid by Qatar, I have to tell you. But it's the same kind of jihadist ideology that goes all around the world and comes from Iran and Qatar and in Hamas and Hezbollah, that we have to fight it. That's one. The other option is not even to release all the hostages. The other option is to continue to give place to extortion, maybe release 10 hostages, 15 hostages, and decide that the rest are going to be doomed forever, never to be released, and actually surrender to Hamas and stop the war. That are the options that are standing in our way, and we must be strong to say no. We will fight. We will eliminate Hamas. We will make sure our children will never experience October 7th again. And this is our commitment. This is commitment of our generation. For too many years, the world has turned a blind eye to evil.
Thank you so much, sir. And perhaps as you uphold your promise to your own children there in Israel, you are doing the same thing for the rest of us around the world. So thank you for your fight, Minister Simcha Rothman. I truly appreciate you jumping in and helping us to understand what's going on.
Thank you for having me.
To the rest of you, we'll be right.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. To everyone else, please call in. I want to hear your comments. 855-839-1210. 855-839-1210. I see you on the other side.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, in Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Turn off the financial news and turn on a great retirement. Find out how with Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
See Joe Conklin's comedy show and meet Ike Reese.
Archbishop Wood basketball team, it's your boy Ike Reese.
That's Conklin at Wood, September 28th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com!
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia. Every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Of course, we all need to save a little cash, especially during back-to-school season. Saving money on your utility bills is a great start. Sign up for the C&C Heating and Air Conditioning Maintenance Plan. Minimize the wear and tear on your system and lower your energy bills this winter. If your HVAC needs replacing, C&C makes budgeting for a new system a snap with 0% financing options. Schedule an estimate today with C&C Heating and Air Conditioning, your local York certified comfort experts. Start saving today. Visit cc-hvac.com.
New Jeeps from $269 a month at turnersvillejeep.com. Drive a new Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, Compass, or Ram truck from $269 a month at turnersvillejeep.com. 2024 Compass, 4-cylinder auto, $269 a month, 7,500 miles, closed-in lease, 39 months with $2,269 due at inception. Total payments $12,491. MSRP $35,340. VIN number RT175028. Residual $19,083. Tax and tags extra. Not valid with trade-in. $599 dock fee. Ends 9/7/24.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. All summer's winding down, Labor Day upon us. Now's the time to address all your fall automotive needs. In the market for a larger vehicle, to schlep around the kids, due for a service checkup after all that summer travel? My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, they are your one-stop destination. Piazza Premium services every make or model: Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, Maserati, Alfa Romeo, BMW, Porsche, and more. PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group doesn't need Google to know you're worried about retirement. Between inflation, rising taxes, and the uncertainty about Social Security, he understands. That's why he offers a complimentary retirement second opinion. It's a no-obligation meeting for you to talk about your concerns about retirement. You want to know if you're going to be okay? Let's find out. 610-894-7415 or go online, retirereadyfg.com.
Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever, overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control, we'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for president.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Hey, Clementon. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Got my walking shoes on. What?
Can't tell you where I'm going, but I'm walking down the street.
Woo! We are walking, guys. And if you have any ounce of courage, it feels lonely. If you are watching what is going on all around us and trying to figure out your place in it all, it does. I have to admit, it feels quite lonely out here. And yet we are called to keep walking every day and to keep hope alive. I mean, truly, to keep hope alive. Because
and common sense.
I mean, truly, because the moment you dispel with hope, you're going to fall into a bad case of depression because there's a lot of opposing winds that is pressing all around us. I want to go ahead and welcome in my next guest, Rabbi. I know I'm going to mispronounce your name,
Ari.
sir. Please forgive me.
I think it's Ari.
Yeah, I think it's Aryeh Lightstone. Did I say that right?
You got it.
Okay, great.
Kathy, you're always right. You got it right.
Oh, I like that.
Doesn't that mean
The rabbi said I'm always right. We call my husband.
Yeah, does that your first name
Oh,
means
boy.
lion, doesn't it? In Hebrew?
That's correct.
See, well, we got that
That's right.
Lion?
Well, it means
You
lion
do.
in Hebrew.
Oh, nice.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
How about
and-
that for an Italian guy?
No.
To come up with that.
No, but it does say why you are who you are, sir. Former Rabbi Lightstone is the former senior advisor to U.S. Israeli Ambassador David Friedman, chief of staff at the Israeli embassy under the Trump administration, and then you led the Abraham Accord. Something that many of us, I remember doing my very first, I didn't even know I was an activist when I was doing activist-like activities over 10 years ago. But I held my very first conference, and it was called Understanding Islam of the Quran versus Islam of our opinion. Because people have a lot of opinions about what Islam is. I actually read Islam, some of the Hadith literature, and I did my very first conference on understanding Islam of the Quran. And one of the questions I posed was, is it possible for peace in the Middle East? And 10 plus years ago, I said, absolutely not. And then the Abraham Accord occurred. And it was like, oh my goodness, is it possible for peace in the Middle East? And then we saw what the Biden administration has done, and now we see what has happened since October 7th, and it's like the world is on fire. The entire world, but specifically Lebanon, Iran, the Houthis, Gaza. It is just crazy what is going on around this little land called Israel. Can you help us understand? Because in that Kamala Harris CNN was supposed to have been an interview, she said we were close, that Israel was close to a deal. And then a couple of days later, I wake up, yesterday, and I saw Hamas just killed 6 of the Israeli hostages. What happened?
Oh, my goodness. First of all, what an introduction. Secondly, I don't know how to explain all of the Middle East in the short time that we have, but I can explain why Kamala Harris.
For 4 more hours. That should give you enough time.
No, I can give a good introduction in the next 4 hours. But it's not complicated to explain why Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have succeeded in messing up the Middle East to epic proportions. If you remember where we were literally 4 years ago. 4 years ago, yesterday morning, I landed in Abu Dhabi on the first ever flight from the state of Israel to the state of the United Arab Emirates that flew over the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The very first physical manifestation of the Abraham Accords of peace breaking out in the Middle East. And over the next 123 days, President Trump, under his leadership, led his team to sign 4 additional peace treaties. So 5 peace treaties in 123 days. And the feeling on the ground throughout the Middle East was electric. Get on the train or the train will leave without you, or as your opening song was, we're walking. There we knew we were walking, and we knew where we were walking towards, which was towards a future of peace and prosperity
in the Middle
and harmony.
East. Wow, right?
In the Middle East. And over the last 4 years, it's difficult to imagine what could be worse. Now, I get nervous every time I say that, because every time I challenge the Harris and Biden administration to make things worse, they succeed. So I'm not going to challenge them on this one, but it boils down to the very basic factor. On Sunday morning, we woke up to the news that Hersh Goldberg Polin was killed by Hamas after being kept captive for 330 days. They shot him in the back of the head because they felt that the Israeli troops were coming too close to be able to rescue him. And just let's understand for 1 second, Hersh's parents spoke at the Democratic National Convention.
Right.
What type of fear or respect does America have in this world when the parents of a hostage speak at your party's convention, and within 2 weeks that child is executed in the tunnels of Gaza?
Now, you know what? Pause right there.
How weak America is.
Now, you know what? Pause right there and expound on what you just said, because I think the fact that many of these world leaders, we were talking about it before we went on air, is that a message has been given to all of these despot regimes that if you have some dictator, communist, you want absolute power within you, now is your time to execute. What is it about this administration that is sending a message? Because under Donald Trump, it was peace. You may not like Donald Trump. You may have good reasons for not liking him. But what I do know is that we were not on the precipice of World War III. I actually believe we're already in World War III. But we were not having all of these rumors, and more rumors of wars all around us. And then you get the Biden administration in, and literally it's like all hell breaks loose. All across every continent, everywhere, there's a fire that is brewing. What is it about this administration that is signaling to these despotic regimes that now is your time to move in on your people?
Well, you said that exactly correctly, and there are 2 reasons for that. Number one is there anybody home in the White House? And the answer is no. And the rest of the world knows that. They see that Biden is at the beach, and they say Harris is on the campaign bus. But people don't understand this. Harris not sitting for an interview, if we think that's embarrassing to the American public, the rest of the world is salivating. If the rest of the world sees that she can't sit down with MSNBC in a one-on-one interview without screwing it up, do you know how excited Putin is to sit across from her? How excited Xi Jinping is to sit across from her? Because they will eat her for lunch. And they see that opportunity right in front of them. So question number one is nobody's home. Question number 2 is an American gets executed in cold blood just this past Sunday. And within the last 10 minutes, since you've been on the show, President Biden was asked the question, what needs to happen with the negotiations? and President Biden turns to the press and says, Bibi, the Prime Minister of Israel, is not doing enough. If your reaction to the execution of one of your citizens is that the leader of your allied nation is not doing enough, you have lost any moral high ground, and the rest of the world is laughing, not behind your back any longer. They're laughing to your face.
So what do you think, because there is this element that Bibi isn't doing enough, that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is not doing enough, and yet I have never seen Israel, because when I went to Israel and I was there, I mean, I loved every moment of it. But one of the things I walked away with, because I was a little bit too up in arms, right? I was ready to categorize everything I saw as some kind of hate, right? And I learned from that, because I was watching the Israelis that I was with, and instead they were very kind, they were very thoughtful, they were very deliberate. They went above and beyond to try to find another reason for why, whatever it was that was happening, that it wasn't necessarily because of anti-Semitism or hatefulness or, Arabs being Arabs or something to that degree. And I saw, wow, these Jews are very tolerant of some things, but it really spoke to me, and that I too, because this is a part of human nature, is that unless you're on the left, everyone else want to evolve and grow, right? You have experiences and you get to grow from those experiences. And I grew from that experience. But what I also saw is that, that the Jews, that the Israeli government is a little too soft-handed with these, with what's going on in, Hezbollah, Lebanon, over here in Gaza. But this time, I mean, you guys seem to have, something has lit a fire under you, and you're like, we're going to do what is necessary so that never again actually mean never again. So you're doing the complete opposite of what I, from my own perspective, have watched. And yet you have the Biden administration saying you're not doing enough. Like, what do they want you to do that you're not already doing? Because I've never seen Israel be so determined to make sure never again means never again. So when he says that, what is being read into that? What does he want Bibi to do that he's not already doing?
Well, the answer is he wants them to virtue signal. This is not about results. The most emblematic example of how the Biden-Harris administration has conducted the war is when they built a pier off of the sea in Gaza to deliver aid to the Gazans. And they wanted to announce that at the State of the Union. They announced that at the State of the Union. The pier was active for 3 days at a cost of more than $250 million. And then they discovered something that every person with a brain knew, which is the problem was not getting aid into Gaza. It was distributing the aid throughout Gaza. And what wound up happening is, as long as you don't defeat Hamas, then Hamas has the guns in Gaza. And the people with the guns in Gaza will take all of the aid once it gets to Gaza. So Biden and Harris trying to tell Bibi, slow down, give more aid, protect the Gazans, instead of saying, go destroy Hamas as quickly as you possibly can. And the Palestinians who don't want to be with Hamas will rise up and they will live independently. But instead, the Biden-Harris campaign has asked Israel to fight with two hands behind their back, and you've seen many young Israeli soldiers be killed because Israel has been asked to fight in a way that the United States of America would never fight.
I will say this, that the Biden and Harris administration, or Harris, is offering a two-state solution. That is the state of Wisconsin and Minnesota, so they can get the Arab vote in those two states. They could care less about the people there in Gaza, as far as I'm concerned.
You're absolutely correct. The fact that you have a small voting element that, by the way, will never be appeased. There's nothing that the United States of America can do in that particular case to speak to that small element is ridiculous. But that also should be a disqualification for a leader, meaning in your state of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro certainly would have been the electorally obvious person for Harris to choose. But she chose not to take him because he's Jewish. If you can imagine in 2024,
now, do you know that for certain? Do you know that for certain? Do you have some insight into backroom conversations?
I will say that he is the only candidate for vice president that there was an active and public campaign against him because of his Judaism, and not a single person from the Harris campaign repudiated that. Now, I can't tell you whether it was reason 10 that they didn't take Shapiro, or reason number 1 that they didn't take Shapiro.
But it's one of the 10.
Well, it's pretty
if Tim Scott was an option for Donald Trump for vice president, if there was a campaign amongst Republican grassroots to say you can't take him because he's an African American, first of all, we would disavow any of those people from being part of our party. But secondly, Donald Trump would come and stand up and say, I'm not taking him for reason A and B, but sure as hell not because of reason C that these guys are saying. Not once did the Harris campaign come out and say, these people don't represent us in our party. They're not part of our grassroots. And the same way they didn't push them away there, they haven't pushed them away on our college campuses. You've seen that at the University of Pennsylvania. You've seen that at Drexel. You've seen that at Temple. You've seen that at Penn State. You've seen that on all of your campuses. And I don't hear a single time where people have said, these people do not speak the truth. In fact, President Biden at the DNC came and said they have a point. Now, what point is it that somebody who supports Hamas has? What is that point that he's pointing out? Terrifying.
All of this is terrifying, but it really does help, Rabbi, when we have access to people like yourself who get to come in and to give us some perspective, because there's a lot of talking heads out here. And so with that, Rabbi R.E.A. Lightstone, thank you so much for dropping in. The Lion. Yes. We appreciate you, sir.
Thank you for having me today. Appreciate it.
Okay, blessings. Okay, guys, there you have it. Call in 855-839-1210. 855-839-1210. I know a lot of y'all are sleeping in, but wake up and see you on the other side.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Prices keep rising, but Social Security isn't keeping up with inflation. Seniors are struggling, and Senator Bob Casey's votes made things worse. Casey voted repeatedly for higher taxes on Social Security benefits. Doesn't Casey know that seniors can't afford higher taxes? Casey backed President Biden's agenda 98% of the time, including trillions in wasteful spending. All that spending didn't help lower prices. In fact, it drove inflation even higher. And Senator Casey wasted our tax dollars on COVID relief checks for violent criminals. That's right. Casey voted to send COVID relief checks to convicted murderers and rapists in jail. That's less for us, more for convicts. Call Senator Casey at 202-224-6324. Tell him to put Pennsylvania seniors and families first and fix his inflation disaster. Support S575, the Fight Inflation Through Balanced Budgets Act. Paid for by One Nation, onenationamerica.org.
Hey, it's Greg with Kale & Company. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. It's America's #1 sportsbook. We have something a little different for you. Now, through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Trust me, I have NFL Sunday Ticket for YouTube TV. You get picture-in-picture, so you can watch multiple games. If you have a little skin in the game, it makes it that much more impressive. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/Greg, FanDuel.com/Greg to download America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT, 21 and over, President PA. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after the free trial. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC. Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie, and one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's also what a lot of us lack in our basement or garage. By switching to a Navien tankless water heater, not only will you have all the hot water you need whenever you need it, but you'll gain storage area as well. Maybe a place to display your space collectibles. Highly logical. Learn about Navien's series of high-efficiency tankless water heaters and how they don't just save space, but save dollars on your utility bills too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
One foot in the ground, one foot.
Hey, how y'all doing?
I
love
it.
Wake up.
I know. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to be here today. Thank you guys so much for listening in. You know that call-in number. It is 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. Charlie, I see you there, but I'm going to bring in my next guest, Tony Otterburn. Hey, Tony, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Yes, you're doing fantastic. I love that. A former U.S. Army paratrooper and world champion power lifter infuses your passion for history with your personal life experience. You're also the founder and CEO of Wise Wolf Gold and Silver Exchange, and you do a lot of different things. I'm so grateful you stopped in.
Well, again, it's great to be here. There's a lot going on in our world in regards to precious metals, I'm sure you know.
Yes, I do, and I want to get to that, but I have a caller who's been on hold for almost 5 minutes. Do you mind if I take his call and you can help me answer his question?
Oh, absolutely not. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Charlie, hey, how you doing?
Good. I know I'm not a power lifter, but I used to be a power drinker.
Oh, okay.
I love talking to you just to hear how upbeat you are. You give me energy.
Good.
But, for years, I don't know, 30, 40 years, I used to have access to a magazine called The Washington Report on the Mideast that my father-in-law used to have a subscription to, and I don't even know if they're still around, and he's not around, God rest his soul. But you got a different slant on what was going on over in Israel with the Palestinians and the state of the camps with like the filthy water and food and this and that. But it wasn't only that. It was what the Israelis were doing, like shooting in the ambulances and going in the hospitals and tearing them up, looking so-called terrorists. Any guy under like 40 years old was considered a terrorist. Or you know what I'm saying?
And so
they
your
were
question,
going to schools
and so your
they
question
were going
is,
in hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
My question is how do people make a right judgment when they're not getting all the full information that's over it? Is that, you know what I'm saying? If you have a totally slanted media.
I think that is a perfect question, Charlie. I think that's a perfect question. It's exactly where we find ourselves today is that, I mean, how do you know how to make a good decision? How do you know how to order your life when you look at one source, Tony, it says the complete opposite of another source? How do you go about trying to make better decisions?
Well, in our world where the narrative is tightly controlled, you have to look elsewhere. You know, we talk about the mainstream media consolidation, and you go back to 1980, and the media was owned by about 50 different companies, give or take, own the newspapers, radio, and television across the United States. And that's down to about 3 now. So that consolidation really makes it hard because all the outlets are parroting each other. You notice something about the rollout of the Democratic nominee for president, how swift that was, how again, across all networks, they're saying the same thing, same references about her running mate, calling him cuddly. You know, there's different networks saying the same
or
word.
Weird. Now everybody is saying weird, right?
Right. Right. And so that's really what you have to be aware of, is that in our current reality, you have to look outside the mainstream. You have to do your own research. It's harder than ever, but it's more rewarding when you do that.
But even among, because now outside of mainstream media, people like myself, we tend to turn to some of these podcasters who are not a part of the mainstream media. But what I'm noticing is that even over the past 2 years, that there's been this kind of consolidation even within the conservative podcaster. They're becoming more clickbaitish. They're turning I don't know, just very glammed up right now. It's almost as if they're circling the wagon around the few elect who get to speak. So this is very real. It is not going away anytime soon. So whether you're looking at mainstream media, it is a challenge to understand what's really going on. But now, even if you're looking to some of these talking heads, conservatives, it's very difficult to find out what is true, what's not true.
Well, you're absolutely right. And, you can look at, talk radio, and I've been in talk radio for the past 11 years. I started out in Dallas in a station called 570 KLIF with my first show, and I learned a lot about the inner workings of how that network ran, and, of course, the personalities, and some of the personalities I was with have gone on to syndication, and I wish them all the best. I do notice that there's a pattern, for a certain set, and then you could call them gatekeepers. And you probably see this in the conservative media. They're very, very much prominent. There's gatekeeping going on. But the good news is that really is falling apart. I mean, people are craving authenticity. Yes. You can see that all across the same narratives and rollouts and things that worked 10 years ago don't work now. People, even the vernacular has changed. And people, like when I ran for Congress, I would talk to people about fiat currency, and they go, "What do you mean? What is that?" Yeah. And now you hear that all the time. People understand that's what the dollar is. So I do think that there's been progress been made in alternative and conservative media. We still have a long way to go, but I'm happy to be a part of hopefully the solution.
Yeah, I know, right? And that is what gives me hope to keep moving forward. Now, let's pivot a little bit because of your world of, of gold and creating markets and the economy. Today is Labor Day, supposed to be the celebration of laborers, of workers who have made America so great. Kamala Harris is coming here to Pennsylvania to talk about opportunity economy. It doesn't feel like there's many opportunities any longer in this economy. I feel squeezed. My dollar feels squeezed. And then Kamala just introduced one of her plan is to tax unrealized gains. Now, she keeps saying this is only going to impact the billionaires, the very wealthy. It never does. It always impacts people like myself, the middle class. Help us unpack, the squeeze that we're feeling on the dollar, as well as what Kamala Harris, one of her plans is to tax unrealized gains. I can't even think of anything dumber than that. But help us understand this.
Well, it's absolutely dumb if you want to have any sort of economic growth or health. And they know that. And, of course, if it affected the billionaire class, then they would oppose it and they would crush this thing. But
because they're all billionaires.
Right. They love the super wealthy. And I love people having wealth and gaining wealth. I love to see that. I'm an entrepreneur. But we're talking about a certain set, like the 1% of the 1%. They push this kind of stuff. And if you go back and you read your history, in 1913, the 16th Amendment, the income tax, it was written by the wealthiest people in the country and around the world, the internationalists. They wrote the tax code. They exempted themselves. They made sure their foundations were exempt, and they put the income tax on you. They put it on the American people, and that's what this is all about. This is about creating a two-tiered system of haves and have-nots. Gore Vidal called it socialism for the rich and free enterprise for the poor. That's what they're trying to do. And, again, almost every plank of the Communist Manifesto can be found in Kamala Harris's economic plan. It's absolutely outrageous.
Tony, one of the things on Stan Casascio here, one of the things about that plan, when you think about it in terms of in China, the Central Committee controls everybody. They're the ones that put the people in charge of the plants. You remember what happened to Ma, who was one of the wealthiest men in the world. He tried to go against the Central Committee, and he's like a non-person today. He's lucky he's still alive. But this is where they're going. They want everything controlled in a central way, and you know as well as I do that that's a recipe for chaos and just a terrible situation happening when you have that.
Absolutely. Recipe for top-down tyranny, basically a state of absolute control. And that's what the power structure wants to bring about. Unfortunately, the history is not in their favor right now. Everything is decentralizing. We're seeing that across the globe with technologies like Bitcoin. I mean, it's really, and again, people are starting to pick up on what that means and the difference between currency and money. This is really my wheelhouse because when you study politics and you study corruption, it leads back. You got to follow the money. And you follow our money in the United States. You follow it back to its origin of the central bank, the Federal Reserve, and those who control it.
Right. Okay. So what do people do then? Because I only have you for a few, maybe a minute or two. So what do people do in this environment? By the grace of God, Donald Trump gets in. But between now and then, there's a lot of cheating going on. So who knows what's going to happen come November 6th, right? But how do you advise people? Should people be putting money in gold? Should people be putting money? Is gold too expensive now? Should people be putting their money in Bitcoin? Like, what should people be doing?
Well, I definitely wouldn't give any investment advice, but I would tell people to do your own research, find out the difference between currency and money. Money has intrinsic value. Currency does not. That's what we have right now. We have a fiat currency. That means by decree. So, again, if you're looking at the long term, you know the dollar is going to lose value. Get out of that. Do something else. Find an asset. Find an investment. Do something. Invest in yourself. Your politics should start local. You should start on the local level. It's about decentralizing and standing up to what the power structure wants to do, and that is centralize everything and control every aspect of your life.
So why is it then that the Democrat Party keeps selling and the American people keep buying from them, that when they raise taxes, they're really going to go after the rich people, but they're all rich? Or we're going to do unrealized gain. Like, it's so stupid. Like, they're going to tax unrealized gain. So when they tax you, you don't even have the money because it's unrealized. You haven't even sold it.
And guess what? The senior citizen gets killed on that.
I mean, so but they're saying we're going to do this because this is really going to stick it to the rich people now. But it doesn't. Why do they keep selling it? Why do we keep buying it?
That's a great question. I think it has a lot to do with normalcy bias. You just kind of get used to it. About half of the populace seems used to just a slow drip of tyranny, unfortunately, and that's where we are. I think when the rubber meets the road, and unfortunately when people feel more economic pain, there'll be more pushback. But we're still floating on a big sea of fake currency right now, and I think people haven't really felt the shockwaves of it.
Yeah, I agree. That is so funny that you would say that. People like the slow drip, and people are just used to like the normalization of some of these very illogical positions. I remember when I was working with the Vivek Ramaswamy campaign, and Vivek is brilliant. And I mean, just an amazing guy personally, but really brilliant. And when we would be out, I would hear people say, you know what? He's just too smart. He's just too slick. I don't trust him. And I would look at them and say, that says more about you than him. We are used to dumb politicians with dumb positions. And then you get a smart person talking to you. You don't know what to do with him because we're so used to dumb.
Well, we actually get more involved with the politicians create the problem, and then they're going to tell you how they fix it. And they never do fix it.
They don't.
This is Harris to begin with.
Tony, thank you so much for calling in. Sir, I look forward to getting to know you a little bit better even after this, but thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate y'all.
Yes. Okay, guys, we have Sean Farish coming up next. Y'all are familiar with him, sounding like Trump. Call in 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. Charlie, thank you for calling in. The rest of you, pick up that phone. Talk to you in a moment.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. It's that time for the Rescue Natural Supplement Labor Day sale, the ultimate celebration of savings and well-being. Right now, all Rescue supplements are slashed up to 70% off. Plus, enjoy free shipping, too. So whether you're searching for immune support, joint care, heart health, or a youthful glow, Rescue has health essentials for everyone. Take a break. Celebrate your workplace achievements with savings on a probiotic, omega-3s, multivitamins, and so much more. Call them at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant, or you can shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. Celebrate Labor Day with 30 to 70% off. Again, all Rescue products are slashed up to 70% off site-wide. No codes needed. Just call or go to res-q.com to get this Labor Day deal right now. Start feeling like a new you with Rescue today.
The following is a paid commercial message.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Isn't it time to invest in yourself? Well, how about this? Start a PI Dental Center with decades of experience in complex dental treatment, and I've been a patient of PI Dental for 20 years. Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, they're board-certified prosthodontists. They specialize in the restoration and replacement of teeth, and PI Dental Center are the originators of the teeth in a day. It's a revolutionary treatment that delivers fixed teeth and implants placed for a dramatic transformation in a mere one day. So visit PIDentalCenter.com. That's PIDentalCenter.com to request your new patient evaluation.
California Psychics is the real deal. They helped me out, totally changed my attitude, totally got me psyched to start my business and to take a new path in my life.
At California Psychics, we only connect our customers with the best. We reject 98% of the psychics who apply to us, so we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
We're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
I hope y'all feel phenomenal. This is my self-talk. I am phenomenal, and I hope y'all feel it for yourself. Look in the mirror, no matter what's going on. I mean, this is your life. This is it. There's no do-over. This isn't a dress rehearsal. This is your life. You like it? Great. If you don't like it, if you want to modify it, well, then you can change it, right? As long as you're on this side of heaven, you actually get to make some choices. But either way, you like your life, you don't like your life, but you want to be more informed, check me out on my podcast, The Kathy Barnette Show. It's everywhere podcasts are heard. We just had our 1 million, I think we're over a million now. I think we're like 1.5 million listeners on YouTube have listened to our podcast. I'm so excited. We are blowing up over there with the video and the audio. So you can go check me out at the Kathy Barnette Show. Just go right now. It's real easy. Look me up. Hit subscribe. Hit the notification button. You can go to YouTube. What is it? Just all of them. Apple, Spotify. Just go, people. Okay? It's not that difficult. But you will be encouraged. You hear more of me with my guests and all of that. You know, I wanted to take, before I go, I have Sean Farish on. I know y'all love him. I adore Sean. I really like it when he comes in talking like Trump. It's just, I don't know. It makes me feel good. I don't know. I feel hopeful. But before I do, actually, I'm going to go ahead and bring Sean in. Sean, are you there?
Yes, I am, Kathy. I'm here. I'm always here, always ready to go. We're going to have a fantastic time. I can tell you that. How can you not? And we're going to win Pennsylvania.
He goes from his
we
regular
are going
voice
to
right
win.
into Trump. Unbelievable. That is
Yeah,
cool.
we're going to win. We're going to win Pennsylvania, and you're going to be a big reason for that. You know that? You and a person we happen to like a lot, his name is Scott Pressler, is doing a tremendous job.
How can you not be happy when you hear his voice? Sean, I appreciate you. I'm getting to know you more and more. I follow you on Twitter primarily, and I mean, you just have common sense, my friend, and there is a home there with me when I see people, because it's going to cost us something now to have common sense in this culture. And so I truly appreciate it when I see it in other people.
Yeah, thank you, and the same goes for you. You know, we run each other's shows, and the funniest thing was, I had asked the question, and I thought I knew the answer, and none of us knew the question. I kind of just thought of it while we were doing the interview, and I said, Kathy, if you made it into the Senate, we had the majority. Who would you vote for majority leader? And you said, without even hesitating, Rand Paul. And I said, all right, well, there it is.
What do we have to talk about?
I said, I knew I liked Kathy Barnette. Now I like Kathy Barnette even more.
Yeah.
Because there would be, the Senate would be a common sense body with leadership from a guy like Rand Paul. So
yeah, it absolutely would. So listen, we have a lot to cram into this little segment with you, but I wanted to start off by just humanizing the 6 hostages who were murdered in cold blood by, the demonic Hamas group of people. And I'm just going to take one. I'm going to have Stan to take the other. Just really quick. This is Hirsch Goldberg, Poland. We have a lot of people. We've heard a lot of people talk about him. He's the American Israeli. He was 23 years old. A really cute young man, the native of Berkeley, California. He lost part of his left arm to a grenade blast on October 7th during that attack. In April, a Hamas-issued video showed him with his left hand missing, sparking a whole lot of protest, urging the government to do something. His parents, U.S.-born immigrants to Israel, very high profile, and his parents said, we are feeling extreme desperation. This is before he was murdered yesterday. They put out a call saying, we are feeling extreme desperation and despair. And I can only, as a mom of an 18-year-old young man who is now out there in the world in college, I can feel that desperation and that despair. Can you talk about the other young lady?
Yeah, Eden Yasami. She was 24 years old. Absolutely beautiful young lady. Just a love person. She wanted to be a Pilates instructor. She was actually bartending at the event at the time. And her last words to her family, she was in contact with the police. She didn't know what to do. Her last words were, they caught me. And then she was shot in the head. This beautiful woman. That is such a heartless thing to do. Think about that. All these people are just so full of life and didn't hate anybody. They wanted a world together.
And right now, when you look at all the news media, I'm just looking right now, Sean, at some of the news headlines. You know, they just keep saying, "Oh, the six hostages, the six hostages, the six hostages." But these were people. These were young people. The overwhelming majority of them have so much life to live, and they seem, when you delve back into their personal lives, like they were just good people trying to just enjoy life.
Yeah, and this is the problem, that we have with this situation over with Israel and Hamas. A lot of people are getting twisted up in the political, well, should there be a two-state solution and whose fault and what happened here and there? And we're forgetting that there are real people, real families actually caught in the crossfire here. And I don't use that term, on purpose, but that's what's happening. And this is the problem, right? You have these hostages that are, you mentioned that these are real people that are over there. Some of them are Americans. They're being, brutally mistreated. You have the alleged president of the United States, Joe Biden, today saying that Netanyahu, this is insane. I mean, the amount of guts it takes to have a statement like this. He says that Netanyahu isn't working hard enough for a ceasefire. This guy just spent the last 18 days on the beach, but yet Netanyahu is not working hard enough to get a ceasefire done. How about, and I said this a million times, how about the Democrats? How about that party? Instead of trying to win Michigan by appeasing people who hate this country, gets over there with our best ally in the Middle East and tries to bring Americans home.
And just
but
do
they
the
decided
right
winning
thing.
Michigan and their political exactly. They decided winning Michigan, their political aspirations in the future were more important than American lives. That should speak volumes to the voters in every state, but especially the voters out there in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
I mean, you've got a Jewish governor who was not allowed on the ticket because he's Jewish. That's exactly what happened. Dawn Stensland, the woman you're filling in for, Kathy, calls it the Pennsylvania Passover. That is exactly what happened. There are people who are in power in this country who would rather advance their personal agenda instead of advancing the agenda of the people they are in position to serve.
We
It's
are
disgusting.
the greatest nation that has ever existed. Now, that does not mean we are perfect. I grew up in the deep South. I have the blood of slaves coursing through my veins. I know the good, the bad, the ugly, all of that. And yet I stand here and say, as I look at our country and I look at the rest of the world and I look at us throughout the time span of history, this is an amazing country. And having traveled throughout Pennsylvania, traveled with Vivek across the nation, there are so many amazing people, good people, who want good, and yet somehow the weakest, the dumbest, the most morally incorrupt people have clawed their way into positions of power, and these myopic individuals are hell-bent on destroying everything that is good about our country. I think about it all the time, like when these people were little children, did they know that they were going to grow up to be the ones to destroy this nation? Like, what could we have done to that little child that could have shifted them to not be so corrupt and weak? And I'm not just talking about those on the Democrat side. I'm talking about all across the board. Our political leaders in this country, they suck. They're horrible people.
Yeah, I agree. And they look down their noses at people like us. And just like you saw, over in Colorado, you hear about these Venezuelans. This is where we are. And this is right out of the book, 1984. You look at Colorado and you hear about these Venezuelan gangs taking over public spaces, taking over apartment complexes. And then you have the governor telling the people, no, that's just your imagination.
I know.
I can't believe.
I'm literally looking at the video footage. I'm looking at the video footage of people walking around with AR-15. I don't know what they're walking around with, but it's not something that if I was walking around with it, oh, God forbid, right? But you see these people walking around armed.
Wait, have you seen the ads for Harris on the I want to throw. Listen, it's a good thing I don't have my shoes. I would throw popcorn at the TV because their ads are like, wait a minute, you didn't care about the border. You didn't care about crime. I can't believe people believe this stuff that they see. It's unbelievable. Your lying eyes.
It's the whole thing, and this is the quote from 1984. It says, the party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final and most essential command. And this is my point, is that you have these people, you have the left specifically, and those on the right. We refer to it as the uniparty.
Right.
We the people, Kathy, everybody, we look at 1984 as, okay, this is what not to do. The uniparty, the leftists, the people who are hell-bent on destroying our country, they look at that book as an instruction manual.
Yeah.
They're using that as a how-to guide to oppress us, and we're watching it play out literally in real time. The memory hole is a real thing. Kamala was the border czar, then she's in the race, now she was never the border czar, right? Seeing it happen over and over and over again.
Like the gaslighting is real.
Wait a minute. George Clooney, and I know you'll have something to say on this, George Clooney just equated Biden getting out like George Washington. And
leaving after his second term.
I almost fell off the chair when I saw Clooney say that.
Well, Nancy Pelosi wants to put Joe Biden on Mount Rushmore. I think if you put Joe Biden on Mount Rushmore, the other presidents who are on there will come back to life and take their faces off. This is where we are.
I'm telling you, the gaslighting. These people, that's the reason why, I'm telling you, I do so much self-talk, and now I'm taking a class from Harvard on neuroscience so I can learn how to keep my mind. Because these people living in this culture, you will feel as though you are about to lose your mind trying to make sense of the illogic. But I want to pivot real quick with you, Sean, because I want you to talk about Stan was telling me about Robert
Reich.
Right.
As Rush Limbaugh used to say, Reich. And,
now, what did he just say?
He said, Elon Musk is out of control and should be threatened with arrest. And it just goes along with the Brazilian leftist government eliminating X throughout the whole country, which is starting chaos there.
Pavel with Telegram being arrested.
Being arrested for Telegram, being arrested in France. This is unbelievable. They are definitely scared to death as to what's going on. This is why they're doing what they're doing.
Are they scared, or are they?
They're scared of the people.
Are they scared of the people waking up and realizing, or are they just totalitarian and they're just like bloodthirst? They don't even understand what they're doing. They're just, in that zone.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm a huge fan of the Star Wars franchise, the original movies and some of the prequels, not the new stuff that's kind of woke, right? Mm-hmm. But in one of the scenes in Episode 3, you have Palpatine talking to Anakin, and one of the things he says is, the greatest fear that the Sith Lord has was losing his power. So when a totalitarian regime sees the people starting to wake up and push back, that's what they're afraid of. They're not afraid of us. They're afraid of us taking their power away. Their whole life revolves around power. And so when you look at a guy like Reich or any of these people who are calling for Elon to be arrested or celebrating the arrest of Pavel Durov, the CEO of Telegram, or celebrating Brazil banning X, I could promise you 100 times out of 100, 1,000 times out of 1,000, 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000, if you are on the side of the people censoring free speech, you're not the good guys. You're not on the right side of things. So when you look at Rob Reich, and I'll finish with this, right? He wants to arrest Elon Musk. Well, I got to say, I looked at a few pictures of this dude. You don't meet the height requirement to make arrests, okay? If you're 3 feet tall, you don't get to do that. I am what is known as, listen, this is what I say, HEIGHT. I am a height supremacist. You must be this tall to make arrests. You're not tall enough, so take a walk.
But if you look at, I remember when Donald Trump was in office and you were looking at the FBI, the different agents who were coming up and talking. So now they're coming out of the shadows and they're having to testify before the Senate. And a common theme outside of Comey, who is tall, the rest of them are like the people on the playground you didn't want to play with, right? And now those people have grown up into positions of power, and now they have that little man syndrome of trying to prove I'm big, I'm bad, and I'm the bully, right? That's what they all, go back and look at some of those people that we now know their names are infamous for us now. They're all these little wimpy, worming-looking men who you can imagine were the same little kid on the playground who probably snitched all the time and, were just odd and awkward. And now they've grown up, and our government is just filled with these weirdos.
Yeah, Peter Strzok, Adam Schiff, he's not in the FBI, but these are all the people you mentioned like they have little man syndrome, right? Napoleon syndrome, where it's like you have a Chihuahua that just doesn't shut up, and it thinks it's this big like Doberman, but it's a tiny little dog. But like, I'm more afraid of that dog because it's gonna bite me, and I don't want to get bit than I am of a German Shepherd, because German Shepherds tend to be nicer, right? So they have this, but this is the point. They're all bark and no bite, right? These people, well, they can bite, though, because they have the power of the federal government behind them. But you're right.
Government.
These are the people that are now getting revenge on whatever happened to them in their upbringing. And, we could have a conversation about bullying and all that. I mean, we should all be nicer to each other. I think that's something we could all agree on. But
I think we need to stop
should never
having
be in a situation. Yeah, but you should never be in a situation where the federal government is being weaponized against its people. We pay for that government to exist. People have to understand, like, without us, there is no government. It's of the people, by the people, and at the cost of the people. So if we're going to do that, if that's the way this government is going to work, eventually the people are going to get tired of it, and we're going to be the ones who are getting picked on in the schoolyard who push back at the bully.
Yeah.
And I think we're at that point now in history where we've had enough. Yeah.
I know. We're being ruled by weak men and women and people who don't even know if they are a man or a woman. So anyway, but Sean, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you. This is Sean Farish, host of Ungoverned, and a really cool guy. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys, here's the number. So now the rest of this hour is just really going to be you guys. So I'm going to let you, I don't have any more guests coming in. I front-loaded all of them so that I can have the last bit of this hour just to kind of hear from you guys and see what you're thinking and what's on your mind. The number is 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210, and I'll see you on the other side.
Colonial Marble and Granite invites you to experience a Labor Day sale with the works. Now get fully installed countertops for 25% off on purchases of $1,999 or higher. Visit any Colonial showroom to discover our dazzling variety of natural and engineered stone and take advantage of these and other great values. But hurry, after September 3rd, these deals won't work. Restrictions apply. Visit colonialmarble.net for details.
I am Judith Krupnik, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. I drive an absolutely fabulous XC90 hybrid, the best of both electric and internal combustion. It's really an incredible Volvo. We are offering a $15,000 discount when leasing any 2024 XC90 hybrid in stock. If ever an XC90 was on your list, now is the time to visit Cherry Hill Volvo. $15,000.
With NJ Diet, you can lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. They have customers that have lost 37 pounds, 100 pounds, and over 120 pounds, and they've kept it off. You'll have more energy, and you'll probably see better lab results. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work to provide you personalized natural formulas and supplements so you can lose the weight, and DNA testing will help you keep it off. Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days, contractually guaranteed. Go to njdiet.com.
Labor Day signifies a lifetime of work, the social and economic achievements of the American retiree. Hi, I am someone who cares and wants and will make a difference. Some say the founder of Labor Day was a carpenter. Others say it was a machinist. We know Rosie the Riveter was a contributor. You, the American retiree, have made countless sacrifices when you already were worn down to the bone. You did this hoping to build a nest egg that would last your lifetime. It's appropriate that our nation pays tribute to the contributors of this great country of strength, freedom, and perseverance. You, our American retirees. You are the backbone of this great country, and you do deserve to have all you've worked for last your lifetime. Preserve the fruits of your labor. On this Labor Day, stand tall, walk proud, and walk on. We at Crash Proof Retirement salute you.
Wawa has new Southwest flavors like the roasted chicken fajita veggie quesadilla.
Fajita veggies?
Or the beefsteak burrito with salsa roja.
Salsa Roja? Love.
You can also add fire-roasted corn and crispy jalapenos.
No way. All from Wawa.
Oh, you bet. Wawa's always keeping things fresh. And this time, it's with delicious Southwest flavors. Try them in a burrito, bowl, or quesadilla, and build it just how you like it. Gotta have a Wawa.
The following is a paid commercial message.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Labor Day signals that fall is fast approaching. Apple picking, fall leaves, and chilly nights are on the horizon. With Legacy Box, you can cozy up and watch something special this fall. Your family's home movies. Legacy Box is the simple, safe, all-inclusive solution for preserving your family's memories trapped on videotapes, film, even photos. After 10 years in business, Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer. They've helped over 1 million families relive their wedding days, babies' first steps, and family road trips. Just fill Legacy Box with your VHS tapes, film reels, or pictures. Legacy Box digitizes it all by hand right here in the USA, and then sends it back on a thumb drive or the cloud. Future-proof your recorded moments today so you can gather the family and begin the trip down memory lane. Plus, for a limited time, they're offering 55% off. Go to legacybox.com/value to get 55% off. That's legacybox.com/value.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Support the Evesham Township Police Foundation. See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Cherokee High School in Marlton, Saturday, October 26th.
Conklin doing his thing, his best voices, his best shtick. Joe's family is just, they're like back from the Osmonds. They're Osmonds on steroids. They're unbelievable.
They made fun of the Cowboys, so I've known him for such a long time, but I did not know he could sing like that.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, October 26th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Need new doors and windows, but not high-pressure sales tactics?
If so, give Emmons a call today. At Emmons, we provide top-notch installation service with a focus on quality and customer satisfaction with brands like Anderson and Provia Windows and Doors.
And you can upgrade your home today with our energy-efficient options, which help save you money.
Call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com. From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
I am Judith Krupnick, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. I drive an absolutely fabulous XC90 hybrid, the best of both electric and internal combustion. It's really an incredible Volvo. We are offering a $15,000 discount when leasing any 2024 XC90 hybrid in stock. If ever an XC90 was on your list, now is the time to visit Cherry Hill Volvo. $15,000.
Yo, Roy is Ford. What? We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT.
I believe. I hope y'all believe. I haven't seen the dream yet, y'all. But I'm chasing it. And I'm going to meet it halfway. If I keep on walking. This is my self-talk. Keep on walking. Yes, just keep going forward. Because anything other, right? There is no such thing as treading water. You are either going forward or back, and we need as much forward moving as possible. Susie loves Jeffy out here on YouTube. I agree. When I heard that Kamala Harris commercial, Susie said that ad for Harris pisses me off. I'm sure you, instead of passes me off, you meant pisses me off. 'Cause that's exactly what I was thinking when I heard it, right? But I have someone who's coming up in a few moments, Diane Cardano. She is a real estate agent, and she's going to help us understand. Kamala talks about, helping the middle class, because I was a middle class when I was young, and I want to give back to the middle class. Well, let's talk about how this unrealized tax
on capital gains.
Yeah, a tax on unrealized gains.
Gain, yes.
Yeah, tax on unrealized gains. How that's going to actually?
Say that 3 times fast.
How is that actually going to help us? I see Maka, you're on hold. Just hold on 1 second, because again, I want to humanize these 6 hostages. I can't even get that word out, because we have a tendency to just lump people in and make everything political. And yes, politics is in everything. But as you're looking at the politics around what's going on in Israel right now, remember, these are real people. And this could have been you. This could have been me. This could be your choice. This is horrible. So listen to another one of the 6 hostages. Her name is Carmel Gatt. She was 40 years old. Carmel she was an occupational therapist from Tel Aviv. She was full of compassion and love, is how she was described, and enjoyed solo travel, rock concerts, and the band Radiohead. She was staying with her parents in Kibbutz, one of the hardest hit communities, when militants broke into their home and kidnapped her on the morning of October 7th. Her parents were killed in the attack. Hostages who were released during a ceasefire back in November said she taught them meditation and yoga exercises to help them survive in captivity. They described her as their guardian angel, and she tragically lost her life in such a cold-blooded and cowardice way when Hamas felt that the IDF was getting close to where these 6 hostages were held, and instead of releasing them, they shot them dead.
The one common thread through all this is all these people, they weren't soldiers or combatants in any form. They were just regular people. Alexander Lobanov is 33 years old, was a married father with 2 children, with a 2-year-old child, and a 5-month-old baby was born while I was in captivity. He was also kidnapped at the musical festival where he worked as a bar manager. Just a great guy, just an average guy. You'd love him as a friend. The Forum, which is a group that cited witnesses that said he was helping to evacuate people from the festival and ran with others before being abducted. He said others managed to escape, and he did not. He was caught, and then just think about this. Shot in the back of the head, a non-combatant, just a regular person. These people were all great people.
So how can you, again, I just want to humanize the people who have lost their lives. And yes, we want all of the hostages to come back, but negotiating with Hamas is like negotiating with Satan. And you have to weigh it all. It's much bigger than what most of us have the capacity to even understand. With that, I want to bring in Diane. Hey, Diane, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Hey, doing well. Diane, I have 2 other callers online.
Sure.
I have Malka and Ed, but I wanted to get to you real quick. So Malka and Ed, if you don't mind holding on, because I'm sure you heard that Kamala Harris commercial where she talks about wanting to rescue the middle class. And, and I'm just fixated on one of her plans, her opportunity economy plans, as she calls it, is to tax unrealized gains. And I wanted you as a realtor to come in and help us understand the impact of taxing unrealized gains. Now, Kamala and the Democrats tell us this is going to really stick it to the rich. But none of their plans ever sticks it to the rich. It always trickles down and sticks it to people like myself. And for people like myself in the middle class, the majority of our wealth is in our home. Can you help us understand the impact of Kamala's plan to tax unrealized gains?
Yeah, well, yes. For me, what I think it's going to do is discourage investment, particularly in real estate. I mean, homeowners, what they might do is they hold on to their properties much longer to avoid the tax hit, and that would further tighten the market, maybe push prices back up, making things even more unaffordable for someone to have the American dream of buying a home. That's my take on it.
Or even lose their home because they won't be able to pay the taxes on the unrealized capital gains.
Right.
And the other issue is, what happens if they sell it for a loss? Do they get their money back? I don't think so.
You got to wait for the government to give you your money back. I mean, just think about it, right? The majority of the middle class, it is a fact, it's not an opinion, hold the majority of our wealth in our home, the home we're actually living in, right? And so if you buy your home appreciates in value, hopefully, that appreciation in value would be the unrealized gains. You haven't sold your home, so you haven't realized the gains in actual profit. But on paper, you have this unrealized gain. She wants to tax the unrealized gains before you even sell the house. So most people, you have it on paper, this appreciation in the value of your home. It's not sitting in your bank account, but she's going to tax it, and now you got to go find how to get the taxes on that. It's just so dumb. It's so illogical, and yet she's pushing it.
The other wanted to ask you, what do you see right now with that hanging over? Has the housing market kind of realized that the feds are going to drop the interest rate, and that's already been kind of fed into the banks right now, hasn't it?
Yeah, the rates are expected to come down. People are calling me like, should I wait to get this? But it's going to boost activity, but then it's also going to make things more affordable, yes, but then there's going to lead to a new wave of demand, right? And then it's going to drive prices back up. So we're like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. This is the crazy market.
Well, with the rates about to come down, should people be looking to get in quickly and purchasing property if they're going to do that?
They want to be there for the long term. Yes. If you're looking for a quick in and out, I would wait it out a little bit until after the election, see what's going on with the prices, because you're going to be buying at a high. And then if the prices do come down, then you'll be losing money. Yes. That's what I would wait.
Okay.
God forbid Harris gets elected, and she does implicate that. And then the prices of your house will go down.
Well, it's a lot of things going to go wrong. Diane, thank you so much for calling.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. I want to get to Malka. Hey, Malka.
Hi, Katie. Hi, Stan. I wasn't going to call, but my blood is just boiling. And as I'm talking to you, I'm watching Israel Live channel. And Simcha Rothman is on right now. Let me tell you, this is all gaslighting in the U.S. and in Israel. The left in Israel is driving it. Majority of Israelis are for Bibi. Biden was just shown on I-24 right here in the U.S. saying Bibi has not done enough and he's not doing enough. What do they want us to do? The U.S. prevented Israel for 3 months from going into Rafah. During that period, during that 3 months period, Hamas got stronger. They got ammunition through the tunnel from Egypt. This is all gaslighting. They are showing us the picture, but they want us to see something else. Bibi is not playing politics. He's trying to defend Israel. We have right here in Pennsylvania Josh Shapiro, who can stop what's happening in the campuses, or at least try to. He's not doing anything. Whether it was going to be picked or not, it's irrelevant right now. Hamas is running a psychological war, and the U.S. is helping Sinwar. They just released the picture of the 6 hostages before they shot them. And I want to share something. I'm sorry for taking all this time. I came back from my snow wintering in wherever I do. In April 2nd, I heard that Madeline Dean is going to be speaking at the Bryn Mawr Library at the gazebo. I rushed and made it a point to be there April 4th. She cried crocodile tears. She said how many Jewish friends she has and how much she's going to do. And
who said this?
Madeline Dean.
Oh, Madeline Dean. Yeah.
After that, and we know Madeline Dean, I walked over to her and I introduced myself. And I said, I have family in Israel. I live in the U.S. 60 years. I care. I'm a patriot here. I care about my people in Israel and my family. She said, Malka, we are going to do everything we can. She couldn't pronounce my name, but never mind. Wait, this was April 4th. May 1st, I am looking right now at a letter that anybody who wants to write to me, I'll send you a copy or it's available. To the honorary Joseph R. Biden for Madeline Dean, she initiated, signed, and attached 60 signatures of other Congress people. Well, she asked Biden on May 1 to stop the help to Israel in so many ways.
Exactly. I gotta go, Malka.
Wait. 3-page letter talking about humanitarian Hamas. How we don't take care of the Palestinians. Every Palestinian there is a Hamas.
Yes.
They're defending them and helping them. Thank you.
Thank you, Malka. I appreciate you. Could not have said it better. I see y'all on the other side. Call in. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Weather sponsored by Holland Floor Covering.
Today for Labor Day, the best day of the holiday weekend. Mostly sunny, high of 81 degrees. The humidity's still up there. Now, as we start the work week Tuesday, it'll get down to 76 degrees, but much less humid. More sun on Wednesday with a high of 79.
Holland Floor Covering is the region's premier flooring dealer. Reimagine your space with new carpet, tile, or area rugs. It can add character and a welcoming experience to your home. Showrooms in Wayne and Newtown. No charge samples, no obligation estimates. Learn more at hollandfloor.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. You've heard me talk over the years a lot about FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have something a little bit different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. So just visit FanDuel.com/Dom to download America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds, terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Wawa has new Southwest flavors like the roasted chicken fajita veggie quesadilla.
Fajita veggies?
Or the beefsteak burrito with salsa roja.
Salsa roja? Love.
You can also add fire roasted corn and crispy jalapenos.
No way. All from Wawa.
Oh, you bet. Wawa's always keeping things fresh, and this time, it's with delicious Southwest flavors. Try them in a burrito, bowl, or quesadilla, and build it just how you like it. Gotta have a Wawa.
Labor Day signifies a lifetime of work, the social and economic achievements of the American retiree. Hi, I am someone who cares and wants and will make a difference. Some say the founder of Labor Day was a carpenter. Others say it was a machinist. We know Rosie the Riveter was a contributor. You, the American retiree, have made countless sacrifices when you already were worn down to the bone. You did this hoping to build a nest egg that would last your lifetime. It's appropriate that our nation pays tribute to the contributors of this great country of strength, freedom, and perseverance. You, our American retirees. You are the backbone of this great country. And you do deserve to have all you've worked for last your lifetime. Preserve the fruits of your labor. On this Labor Day, stand tall, walk proud, and walk on. We at Crash Proof Retirement salute you.
Labor Day signals that fall is fast approaching. Apple picking, fall leaves, and chilly nights are on the horizon. With Legacy Box, you can cozy up and watch something special this fall. Your family's home movies. Legacy Box is the simple, safe, all-inclusive solution for preserving your family's memories trapped on videotapes, film, even photos. After 10 years in business, Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer. They've helped over 1 million families relive their wedding days, baby's first steps, and family road trips. Just fill Legacy Box with your VHS tapes, film reels, or pictures. Legacy Box digitizes it all by hand right here in the USA, and then sends it back on a thumb drive or the cloud. Future-proof your recorded moments today so you can gather the family and begin the trip down memory lane. Plus, for a limited time, they're offering 55% off. Go to legacybox.com/value to get 55% off. That's legacybox.com/value.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever. Overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control, we'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for president.
If you're in the restaurant, hospitality, or casino business and your point of sale system isn't helping you sell more, earn more, or work less, you need to talk to my friends at PDQ Signature Systems. PDQ has everything you need for success, including enhanced mobile reporting, direct integration to delivery apps, 24/7 customer service, and so much more. Whether you have a single location restaurant or thousands of locations, Joe Flynn and his team at PDQ can help. Visit pdqpos.com.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I learned it from my adoptive mom.
Hold my hand? You hold my hand.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause, brought to you by Advocacy United, this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that'll affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
At Wawa, you can always find the right drinks for the right time. And Wawa's pumpkin drinks are back sooner than ever, so you can enjoy the best of summer and fall. Enjoy a pumpkin brulee milkshake by the pool. Sip a pumpkin cheesecake smoothie while skateboarding, or take a pumpkin spice iced coffee on a camping trip. At Wawa, anytime is drink time, and now's the time to feel cool and cozy with Wawa's new pumpkin flavors. Available in milkshakes, cream smoothies, and iced coffee. Gotta have a Wawa.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com. Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Free speech lives here with Kale and Company weekday mornings on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
1 foot in the ground, 1 foot in
Woo!
the grave.
These are our last 6 minutes.
Time goes by
Together.
fast.
It goes by so fast. I talk about that all the time. Dawn will be back in tomorrow, I do believe. Or at least I won't be here tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for making me feel welcome every single time I come in here and sit in for Dawn. Mango Mush, I see you out there. You're always there. You, Susie, loves Jeffrey and so many others. But Mango Mush, you said, while driving yesterday, I counted signs and yards. 12 Trump to 1 Harris. Yes. And if it wasn't for cheating and shenanigans, I know Trump will win Pennsylvania. But, I know on our side, we want to, pick up the pom-poms, go rah-rah, we got this, yay! Although we've done absolutely nothing in Pennsylvania, specifically Philadelphia, Allegheny, and Montgomery County.
Montgomery County is the one that really bugs me.
I mean, Montgomery County is a hot mess. Like, they've added more drop boxes that will now be open.
And they have the ice cream truck that's driving around registering people. Don't even know whether they check for their ID or anything else, or even if they're a U.S. citizen. And if they're on the voter rolls, you and I both know that's when those mail-in ballots go.
But in Pennsylvania, if you get an ID, you're automatically registered, right? And so you have illegals all across the nation. We are a sanctuary. I don't know. We're a sanctuary state. I know Philadelphia, the city.
They give you a choice, but if you don't put anything down, they register you.
Then they just register you.
Independent, and then they send you a mail-in ballot.
And then in a general election, you can vote any way you want. But in Pennsylvania, in Montgomery County, they've added additional mail-in boxes. What do you call those?
Drop boxes.
Yeah, drop boxes.
13. They have 13.
An additional 13.
And they're using the same cameras that were watching Epstein to watch those drop boxes.
Meaning none at all.
None at all, right?
Right, exactly. So it will not be, they will be open 24 hours, 7 days a week. I think election, the mail-in starts September 16th, so we have almost 2 months of voting.
But I would tell you, if you call Tom DeBella, who's the commissioner, the minority commissioner in Montgomery County, you call him, they have a list of people that are helping watch those boxes, even though the government's not doing it.
Yeah, okay. So, but there will be no cameras, open 24/7, no chain of custody, and the rest of you just shut up, sit down, be quiet, and just eat it. Just choke on it, I guess. I don't know.
As frustrating it is, you've got to vote. No matter what, you've got to vote.
I absolutely agree. I will certainly be there voting. I will be voting in person.
I'm voting in person, too.
Whatever the strategy is, you have to get a vote in. I get it.
Ask you, we were up in Bedminster, and Mike Lindell spoke, and he talked about everybody getting a mail-in ballot, but don't open it. And when you go to the polls, to vote in person, bring your mail-in ballot, and if they say that you voted, because this actually happened to people.
I know it happened, yeah.
People were told they already voted and never
did. And they hadn't voted.
And what you do is you say, hold on, here's my ballot, and I'm going to accuse you of identity theft because somebody stole my identity, and you're aiding and abetting it. It's one of those strategies that he has. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It's so irritating.
I know
all of this is so irritating.
But vote.
Because we've done nothing. We've done nothing
so as the song
to shore up our integrity of voting, and it's just anathema. No, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I don't want to be a wet blanket, but I'm not stupid. I'm not a child. You can't just, you can't peel me and make me call it rain. It is craziness what we're doing now.
So put your shoes on and keep on walking straight ahead, right? Right.
Well, you got to speak truth. Yep. I'm going to show up, my whole crew. We're going to show up. We're going to vote. We're going to go around. We're going to knock on doors. We're going to encourage other people to knock on doors. But I don't have to sit around and say this piss is rain. It's not rain. And I'm tired of it. You're the one who always say, like, what do you say?
Well, it was Madeline Bream at the Republican committee, at the Republican convention. She said in this beautiful speech, one of the best speeches there, she said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
I'm sick of it.
And we have to stand up and turn this around.
And I'm tired of it. The Republican Party, we always like, just smile. Just smile.
It's time to fight.
Just smile. I'm tired of it. That's stupid. But before we go, in the last 2 minutes that I have here, I want to talk about the last 2 of the 6 hostages who were brutally murdered. Almog Sarusi, 27 years old, a handsome young man. He was described as a vibrant, positive person who loved traveling around Israel in his white Jeep with his guitar. He was at the music festival with his girlfriend of 5 years who was killed in the attack. He stayed with her after she was wounded and was then abducted. Go quickly.
And then we have Ori Danino, 25 years old, just a beautiful smile, wonderful-looking young man. Jerusalem-born, the oldest of 5 siblings, was planning to be an electrical engineer, was somebody known for his ambition, his love of nature, his love of people, and his ability to fix anything. He was a real fixer guy. And he was kidnapped at the festival while driving back trying to help others to escape. And he was brutally shot in the head. And these people are animals as far as I'm concerned.
So whether we are, listen, I mean, I used to say it before 2020 election. I say it today. I continue to say it between then and now, is that trying to pick a problem to obsess over in this country is like trying to drink water from a fire hydrant. And yet we are called to bring out our cups and our straws and to do our part. You cannot stick your head in the sand far enough. Stan, last word.
Last word is go out there and vote. Let's not let it go. Let's not back down. Let's fight for this thing.
Our nation is worth it. If our nation is going to go down, it will not go down with me sitting on the couch screaming at Fox News, scrolling on Facebook. I'm going to be a part of the battle because we must. I'm a realist. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. But I'm going to be out here. I am a happy warrior.
We're going to go down.
Fight.
We're going to go down fighting. We're going to go down and fight. We're going down
I love
fighting.
you all. Blessings. Take care. Love your loved ones. Blessings.
At Wawa, you can always find the right drinks for the right time. And Wawa's